Hi, everybody. Welcome to the When All Women Vote Couch Party. I'm Jordan Brooks, the Executive Director of the United States of Women. We're so excited to have you all here to join us today. Make sure you're using the hashtag Couch Party throughout the night tonight. So this week, we marked the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment, which guaranteed some women, but not all women, the right to vote. So many women of color, particularly, who fought for that movement weren't recognized for their work, and many did not receive the right to vote until much later.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be with you all tonight. My name is Stephanie Young, and I'm the Chief Officer for Communications and Culture at When We All Vote, and we cannot be more excited for this evening. And the women that Jordan's referring to are women like Sojourner Truth, women like Ida B. Wells, Barnett, and Mary Church Terrell. And we honor their legacies tonight by taking action.
So tonight's about being with the women in your life, your girlfriends,
people like your moms, and your sisters and your coworkers and all the women that are important to you in your life.
And tonight, as Stephanie said, it's about taking action. You are going to help us reach our goal to text over 300,000 women tonight to make sure that they are ready and registered to vote.
And that they take time to make sure their voting plan is together right now. So we want each and every one of you to make a voting plan and to encourage women in your life to do the exact same thing. And we know that women tend to lead, so you cannot do this work until you make sure that you're registered to vote first, and all the women in your life as well.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our program for tonight. Steph and I are here, but we're also going to turn it over really soon to our special guest, Megan, the Duchess of Sussex. Then we'll have a really great panel on voting and women's history with Valerie Jarrett, co-chair of the United States of Women and chair of the board of When We All Vote, and Samantha Berry, the editor-in-chief of Glamour. Then our good friend Yvette Nicole Brown, who is an actress, producer, and activist herself, will join us. Then our really, really awesome partners and team members here, Arisa Samani and Morgan Johnson, will train you all on making sure you know how to text and use OutVote. Then Angie Martinez will come in and talk to us, get us all hyped up to text. And then we'll be texting with DJ Diamond Cuts, who's an incredible DJ who's going to get us all hyped up tonight. And you may see a little pop in from our good friend Tina Chen, who is also a co-chair of the United States of Women and the CEO and president of Time's Up. And I also want to give a special thank you to all of our partners tonight who helped make this possible. There are over 30 fabulous organizations fighting for gender equity that are a part of the Gender Equity Voting Collaborative, and each and every one of them is represented here tonight.
And we also want to give a special shout out to Glamour and all of their efforts and their partnership tonight. We cannot wait to get this party started. So to kick things off, Jordan is going to introduce our very special guest.
Thanks, Stephanie. So we are so pleased to have Megan, the Duchess of Sussex, join us this evening. Megan is a philanthropist and outspoken advocate for women's empowerment who has used her voice to support many global and local organizations. With her husband, Prince Harry, she is focused on Archwell, their new nonprofit organization building compassionate communities online and off to serve our collective well-being. Thank you so much for joining us, Megan.
Well, hi, everybody. This is exciting. I mean, I'm really thrilled that you asked me to be a part of this. And I think this is such an exceptional time. So happy to be here for my friend Michelle Obama's When We All Vote and to kick off the When All Women Vote couch party. I think, look, if we're looking at what's happening here and the work that you're doing at the United States of Women, it is fair to say that we are all very grateful for that work because we need it now really more than ever. So as I was thinking about this a little bit, I thought, when I think about voting and why this is so exceptionally important for all of us, I would frame it as we vote to honor those who came before us and to protect those who will come after us, because that's what community is all about. And that's specifically what this election is all about. You know, I think we're only 75 days away from Election Day. And that is so very close. And yet there's so much work to be done in that amount of time because we all know what's at stake this year. I know it. I think all of you certainly know it. And if you're here on this fun event with us, then you are just as mobilized and energized to see the change that we all need and deserve. So I'm inspired to see all of the work that you're doing in your communities as well as for your communities. As you just mentioned earlier, This week we are recognizing the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which of course gave women the right to vote, but not all women, and specifically not women of color. And as we look at things today, though it had taken decades longer for women of color to get the right to vote, even today we are watching so many women in different communities who are marginalized, still struggling to see that right come to fruition. And it's just simply not okay. And when we look at the attempts of voter suppression and what that's doing, it's all the more reason we need each of you to be out there supporting each other, to understand that this fight is worth fighting, and we all have to be out there mobilizing to have our voices heard. So, it's interesting. I think we are obviously faced with a lot of problems in our world right now, both in the physical world and in the digital world. But we can and must do everything we can to ensure all women have their voices heard. Because at this juncture, if we aren't part of the solution, we are part of the problem. If you aren't going out there and voting, then you're complicit. If you are complacent, you're complicit. And I think when we are looking at all the different ways that we can engage, we can support one another, it doesn't necessarily matter what the issue is that speaks to your heart. Maybe it's the environment, maybe it's the rights of women, maybe it's the rights of children, maybe it's healthcare, whatever it is, we can make the difference in this election, and we will make the difference in this election. As I continue to think about the rest of this day and all the amazing work you're going to be doing, texting eligible voters, making sure that they are registered, making sure that they can have the impact that we all need and really want, then I think it's an exciting day, because it is the countdown to the change that we would all like to see for the better for our country, and watching all of you do your part in whatever way to just encourage each other to have your voices heard. So I appreciate the work you're doing. I thank you so much. In the fraught moment right now that we find our nation, exercising your right to vote isn't simply being part of a solution, it's being part of a legacy. So thank you for being part of that legacy with us. Take good care of yourselves and of each other. And I can't wait to see what we can all accomplish together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Megan, for joining us and for your tireless advocacy on behalf of women all over the world. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is fantastic. Well done, guys.
So now I'm really excited to introduce Valerie Jarrett. Valerie is the board chair of When We All Vote and the co-chair of the United States of Women. She's a senior distinguished fellow at the University of Chicago Law School and a former senior advisor to President Barack Obama, and now senior advisor to the Obama Foundation. Ms. Jarrett is the longest serving senior advisor to President Barack Obama, and she oversaw the offices of public engagement, where Steph and I both worked with her, and intergovernmental affairs, and she chaired the White House Council on Women and Girls. Ms. Jarrett championed the creation of the work on equality and opportunity for all Americans, and was a voice for especially working families, working women across the country, and women and girls around the world. Valerie is such an inspiration to me, and I know to so many others, and we're so excited to have her tonight. So please help me welcome Ms. Valerie Jarrett. And now,
Thank you so much, Jordan. Hello, everyone. It's so great to be here. Thank you, Megan, for the perfect setup to what we know is going to be a fun couch party, and we're going to get some stuff done, because that's what women do. We take care of business. So Jordan, I'll let you introduce Samantha, and then we're going to have a conversation.
Perfect. Thanks, Valerie. And now I'm so excited to also introduce Samantha Berry, who's the editor-in-chief of Glamour magazine, where she oversees content development and consumer experiences across the brands digital, social, video, and print. Under her leadership, Glamour emphasizes a digital-first focus on unique reporting, exclusive features, and unique perspectives impacting women today across financial, interpersonal, fashion, beauty, wellness, and political topics. She has also greatly strengthened Glamour's commitment to body positivity by showcasing size-inclusive brands and models across all channels. In March of 2020, Berry partnered with the Freedom Forum's museum to guest curate the Suffrage Suite, Women Win the Vote, an exhibit in Washington, D.C., to honor the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment through images of historic newspapers, photographs, and stories of changemakers from past and present. It is so cool. We encourage you all to go see it if you're in DC. Samantha is shaping a new and inclusive future, and we're so excited to have her join us and have this conversation with Valerie tonight. Samantha, take it away.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Didn't realize, Valerie, that you and I were going to coordinate in the white outfits where there's a lot of white. Love it. Absolutely love it. Valerie, this is a really important week for women. I'm going to talk a little bit about the 75 days that we are out from the election. Well, let's go back. Let's look historically. As Megan brought up, this is 100 years since women, not all women, some women won the right to vote. But even in that time, people were left out. Women of color were left out. It would take them much longer to get the right to vote. How important is it that women today use their right to vote, that we make sure every woman can vote?
Very, very important indeed. And I'm joined by another woman here, my dog. I'm trying to hold on to her so she doesn't go crazy. So here is the thing. Women are the anchors of our communities. They are the ones that motivate other people to do things. And right now, women vote in a disproportionately higher number than men. So it is important that we not only vote, but that we educate those around us in our families, in our community, about what they need to do to register to vote and to begin to have conversations, which is why we wanted to do this in a couch party so that we could start with a conversation and talk about what are the issues that you care about. And I think that's part of what women do. I mean, I know the issues that are important to me. And so I try to see the nexus between what I care about and what people who are running for office are committing to do. And do I think that they're going to follow through on those commitments? And so I think we can be educators in chief, conveners in chief, naggers in chief, whatever it takes to try to get people engaged. And not just, and this is an important part about When We All Vote more generally, is that this isn't about one election or one candidate. We have to really educate ourselves and be civically engaged in every single election. It matters, who's the mayor, who's on the city council, who's in the state legislature. And in a sense, this COVID-19 virus that has affected the world, but the United States in a disproportionately horrendous way, has kind of laid bare disparities between women in general, women of color, health insurance disparities, those who are not in communities where they have the expansion of Medicaid, essential workers who don't have benefits like paid leave or paid sick days. Every worker should be an essential worker. The tensions, racial tensions in our country. All of this has kind of come to a head. And I think women play such a critical role in trying to educate everyone and mobilize people to see that elections have consequences.
And I want to talk about that a little bit, Valerie, because I think you bring up a very important point, which is the power of voting locally as well. But before I go to that, what I do want to remind everybody, you said it was a conversation. It is a conversation. If you have questions for Valerie in particular, go to Twitter, use the hashtag couchparty. At the end of this chat, Valerie and I will be answering some questions from Twitter. So use the hashtag couchparty. Let us know what you want to ask us. We've got the team behind the scenes looking through that. And make sure you stay on because it's important. The aim of today is the goal is to reach 300,000 eligible voters today. And it's about, yes, motivating you, but Valerie, to your point, motivating those around you. You talked about the power of local politics, something we see and care about at Glamour a lot. And I think 2020 has shown us how important local elections are and local races are in terms of access for women's reproductive rights, in terms of COVID response, in terms of response to protests and social injustices. What's your call to people that are engaged with a national campaign who pay less attention to a state and a local election?
Well, they all matter. And I think in a sense, look, I think there are people here in the United States who had no idea who their governor was. But now we see the important role that governors play in allocating of resources. Public health system is funded through the states. Whether or not they take science seriously and give counsel to their constituents, the residents of their state, as to how they should conduct themselves to keep themselves safe. I've spent almost the entire time of this pandemic in New York City, which was the epicenter for the United States. But guess what? They really brought it down as a result of the efforts at the state and local level. So I think for those who only focus on kind of the shiny object of who's running for president, it's our responsibility to give civics lessons and say, This is the role of the mayor. For those who've been involved in the civil unrest regarding racial justice, it matters who's your prosecutor, making decisions about who to bring charges against. It matters whether they're independent from the police department. Who selects the police superintendent? That's the mayor and the city council. And so I think our overall philosophy, and women are really better at this, I think, than men, meet people where they are. Reach them and describe a story to them that they can relate to. And that's the way you can say, oh, I see the connection between the issues I care about and state, local, and federal government. And they all impact women's rights. I mean, we can't get, for example, the federal government to pass a national paid leave policy. We're the only developed country in the world that doesn't have one. But you know what? There are states and cities that have. And so use that as a teaching moment as well. There are states that have different restrictions on a woman's right to choose. So they do impact us. We just have to educate people.
Let's talk, Valerie, on the wider scale about two sets of voters that I'm worried about. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. One is the uninspired. My vote doesn't count, not enthused, not enthused to go to the polls. How do you reach those people, especially if you're one of the people that tuned in today to this couch party? And you're obviously motivated enough to join us today, but how do you motivate the unenthused around you? And then the second thing we'll get to is the disenfranchised, or the ones that are being left out or suppressed at the moment in terms of voting.
Yes.
Start with group number one. What do we think? How can we engage those people that just feel left out of the process and not bothered?
Yes. Well, so you're right, Samantha. There are two issues. One is where we are disenfranchised because of policies or laws or practices. But the other is when we disenfranchise ourselves. And so let's really drill down on the second one I just mentioned. So in the United States, our elections are close. They're always really, really close at the federal level. And so when you drill down, you will see that it could just be a fraction of what you might expect that will alter the outcome of the election. I'll give you the data point for the last presidential election. So Secretary Clinton won 3 million more votes than President Trump did, yet she lost. And if you looked at it, it boiled down to 100,000 votes in 3 states, fewer than 100,000 votes in 3 states. So I think part of what we have to show people is just how close elections are so that they appreciate that their vote does matter. Now, there's sometimes where they'll say, well, what difference does it make who's in office? And then that's when you got to come back to, well, what do you care about? What are the issues that are important to you? And I think having a conversation, what doesn't work is you can't lecture somebody. You can't just say you have to vote. You have to explain to them why, and why voting is just the tip of the iceberg of civic engagement. Making our democracy strong requires us to care about one another. It requires a level of empathy and engagement. And I just think that women get that, and we just have to drill it in so that they can then communicate it to those around them.
And let's talk about the second group. We're hearing a lot this year about worries of voter suppression.
Yes.
We're hearing about issues with the postal system, and we're 75 days out from an election. How much planning do people need to put into how they get their vote counted this time?
Start today. Like right this minute, go and check and see if you are registered to vote. And if you don't know how to do that, then you should go on our When We All Vote website, whenweallvote.org, and you can drill down into figuring out whether or not you're registered. It'll take you to the portals that will guide you to where you need to go. You have to know what your own status is. If you're not registered, register, and then go register all of your friends. One of the real concerns, fears I have, twofold. Number one, what we were seeing in terms of the Postal Service in the midst of a pandemic, disinvesting in our adequacy of being able to use the Postal Service. And it affects more, Samantha, than just voting. I've heard stories of senior citizens who are not getting their medication because they rely on them coming by mail. But in the midst of a pandemic, we are encouraging people to vote by mail if they have concerns about going to the polls. We're also encouraging the expansion of early vote so that people don't have to all show up on election day. If you're concerned, if you're in one of those states where you're not completely sure that your Secretary of State has their arms around this, and we saw horrendous examples in Georgia of absentee ballots not getting out to people in time, or Wisconsin where there were long lines, one suggestion is to request your absentee ballot immediately and then take it and deliver it in person. Don't stay in there and vote, but just drop it off. So all those strategies are set forth in our website, and we encourage people, you have to educate yourself. And then if you see voter suppression activities going on, there's a phone number that you can call on our website as well, so that you can report it, because we have to have a rapid response system out here in order to combat this as soon as we see it.
Great. And as a reminder, if you have any questions about your voting plan or how you put your voting plan in place, we're taking questions on Twitter. The hashtag is #CouchParty, and Valerie and I will answer some of them towards the end of our chat. And make sure you, of course, stay on, because we've got some OutVote training for everybody, and we want to help We All Vote reach the goal of 300,000 eligible voters today, which is big, because I know there's thousands of you on at the moment having the couch party with us. Valerie, what do you think are the issues that are motivating people to the polls this year? What are you hearing across the country are the policies and issues that are bringing people out to vote?
Well, there are a number of issues. I think people are worried about their lives and their livelihood. They're worried about whether or not, if they have a job, will they keep that job? If they've lost their job, will there be benefits that come from the federal government to help them tide them over through this period of time? What is going to happen to jumpstart our economy? It's worse than ever since the Great Depression, even worse than it was when President Obama took office back in 2009. What are we going to do to make sure that if there's a vaccine, that it's readily available, fairly available? Another data point is in New York, I went to a urgent care clinic, and it took me 15 days to get my COVID-19 test back. And then I went to later on to a private physician, and I got it back in 36 hours. So there are clear disparities in the way that healthcare is being administered in our country, and what's going to happen with that. So sending young people back to school, whether they are in elementary school or in college. I just came back from a vacation, and everybody there had college-age kids or elementary school kids, and they were frantic about, is it going to be safe? So these are the kinds of just everyday issues that I think people all across our country are grappling with right now. And they should figure out, like, where can government make their life easier? And who are the people that they trust, that they have confidence will follow through and care about, not just some of them, but all of them.
Valerie, we saw a record number of women put their hat in the ring for the top of the ticket this year.
Yes.
And it's something we've talked a lot about at Glamour. I grew up in Ireland, where I grew up with a female president. It was very normal. Mary Robinson was the first president I'd ever heard of, and it was a woman. What do you think in the States here? What do you think, how long do you think it will be before we have a woman president?
Well, that's exactly the right question. I don't know the answer, but I know this, that we are making progress. I mean, if you think about it, in the last midterm elections, more women were elected to Congress than ever before in our nation's history. And they represent the rich diversity of our country, which I consider to be a strength and an advantage. When Congress is making decisions about my body, I want to know that somebody who has a body just like mine is in the room and being a part of the conversation, right? I don't want a bunch of guys who are over 80 deciding what's going to happen to my body. So I think that's moving in the right direction. As you mentioned, Samantha, the fact that the field of people who were under consideration for vice president was huge. All of them extraordinarily qualified, great credentials, great track record of public service, of leadership, of making tough decisions. And so I think it is just a matter of time. Should have it already have happened? You betcha. But why hasn't it happened? Because we still live in a pretty sexist country. It's not that we don't have talent. Talent is ubiquitous. Opportunity is not. And it's one of the reasons why a group of women here in the United States, leaders, I would say, around the country, got together and wrote a letter to the media, and even in advance of there being a selection for the vice presidential nominee, to say, do not fall victim to what you have historically done, which is giving in to racial stereotypes, sexual stereotypes, gender stereotypes. Don't ask a question of a woman you wouldn't ask of a man. Don't use words to describe a woman that you wouldn't use to describe a man. Be careful of your language. Ambition. Well, who is in consideration for vice president who's not ambitious? Of course you are. And that's something to be celebrated, but yet it's being used as a pejorative. And so I think that we are at an inflection point where it's going to be too late to turn it back. We've been unleashed. Our voices are loud and many, and we are looking out for each other and having each other's backs as well.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. And language is so important. As an editor, I want everybody to be watching out for the gendered language that will be used by some when it's talking about the Democratic VP pick, Kamala Harris, because there are certain words that are can and shouldn't be used when we're talking about a female candidate, but they have been historically. Final question for me, Valerie, before we go to questions from the audience. You and I have talked a lot about the women of the suffrage movement, right? All these amazing women that banded together in order to fight for the right to vote. Who are the women that young women that inspire you today?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so many of them. And I mean, they're smarter, they're better organized, they are connected in a way as a result of technology and their exposure that my generation really wasn't. So I will start with a young woman named Brittany Packnett. Brittany worked for Teach for America in St. Louis and was near service around the Ferguson community. And so when Michael Brown was killed, she was a part of the original organization that started protesting in the streets, and she stuck with it, which is one of the things I think that we are good at. We do not waver. Once we are committed to something, we are prepared to sacrifice and stick with it. And Brittany did really quite amazingly. And we met her when President Obama was in office, and he invited a group of activists who'd been demonstrating from around the country over Black Lives Matter to come to the White House and meet with him, and then ultimately formed a 21st Century Task Force on Policing, which Brittany joined. And it has been such a pleasure for me to watch her grow over the years and see how she has blossomed into this superstar advocate who understands that you have to take the long view. So that's one. And another one is a young woman who would be familiar to everybody. Sorry about the dog. At least in terms of her face and her words, and that's Emma Gonzalez. And Emma was one of the young superstars from Parkland who withstood and lived through just a horrendous tragedy that far too many young people in our country have had to endure, and turned that anger and frustration and pain into mobilization. And I was just thinking yesterday about the March for Our Lives, and it was organized by young people, just like Emma, all around our country, who recognize that we have got to end this gun violence epidemic, and that they will demand it, and they're not going to give up until it happens. And so for all of the Emmas and Brittany's of the world, I just want to say thank you. I mean, really, we're counting on you, but I know that we are in good hands with you.
I couldn't agree more. And we honored, I was at the March for Our Lives in DC, that crowd, that
yes,
organized by those young people. And we honored a lot of the Parkland girls and the gun activists in America for Women of the Year. And just when you realize they're like 15 and 16 and 17, they're just phenomenal what they've already done. I think we've got Jordan coming back with some questions from the audience.
Oh, good.
Everybody, can you hear me? I think I'm coming back and there I am. Hi, everyone. So great to see you. That was such a great discussion. Thank you so much. And actually, I think one of our questions that we have from Twitter is, from Nick from Twitter, who asked, so many young people, particularly right now, are home because of COVID. And Valerie, you were just talking about how inspirational those young activists are. How are we engaging them during COVID to make sure that they're registered to vote? What's the best way that you think we can do that?
Well, the good thing about young people is that they're not terrified of technology the way I am. The fact that this even worked when I turned it on is a miracle to me. But for them, it's second nature. For you, Jordan, it's second nature. You're still young enough to fall in that category. And so when you can connect through technology, the sky is the limit. I mean, we can reach an infinite number of people today. And if we were trying to organize a rally, it would be limited. And so I would say, let your fingers do the talking and get online, get on our When We All Vote website and figure out what do you want your community to be, build your own squad, be creative about it and make it fun. Yes, it's a civic responsibility. And we take it very seriously, But voting should be fun. When I was a kid, I went to the polls with my parents, and I would be so excited on election day to go down there, and they would talk about the candidates ahead of time. Well, not everybody has that. But we as women can provide that to our community. So just get busy. Back at you, Jordan. Do you have any other suggestions?
No, I mean, I think, we're doing it right now, right? We're trying to engage people on this couch party. So excited to partner with Glamour on that, which helps us reach so many other new young women who we weren't reaching before. So excited about that. And I think, Valerie, you were just talking about how important it was for you to go to that polling place and vote. We have a question actually, and would love to hear what you guys think. From Bad Habit Books. I don't know if it's safe to vote in person, but I really want to vote in person. Is wanting to vote in person silly? And should I just do a mail-in ballot to be safe, or what should I do?
Well, nothing's silly when we're talking about how you exercise your right to vote. So no, it's not silly. And I would listen to the medical experts in your community, because I think it's going to vary state by state. There are some states where hopefully by November, we have seen a great reduction in the number of cases, in which case the experts in your area might say it's safe if you social distance, if you wear a mask, if you keep your hands clean. They may advise you that it's safe. There may be, unfortunately, some parts of our country that are still suffering from this epidemic, in which case I think you have to resist the temptation or do what I suggested, which is get an absentee ballot, and then you can go hand deliver it. If you like the art of just going and delivering your ballot, then you could do it that way. But I defer to the scientific experts, and I would suggest everyone do the same, because it isn't a one size fits all with this terrible, terrible virus.
And I would just reiterate what Valerie said at the start. We're 75 days out. That's not a lot of time. And I would advise anybody that is thinking about their voting plan to investigate it now and have that plan in place, because 75 days is nothing. Know what you're going to do if it is the absentee voting. If you're planning on voting in person, what do you need to do in order to get your vote counted? Just plan for it now.
Absolutely. That's so important. And we'll be talking to 300,000 voters tonight to make sure that they're making their voting plans. So thank you for plugging your voting plans, Samantha. Samantha, we had a couple questions for you about, Glamour has done such an incredible job of engaging people digitally. So we wanted to ask you, how have you guys been really thinking about engaging people differently right now, especially around voting? I know you've done so many great pieces on activists and women who are really working on this. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about your tips for people to engage digitally.
So I think Valerie brought this up as well. And I think first person narrative, storytelling from a personal place is something that Glamour is always known is something that will draw people in, whether we're talking about a politician or a mother or somebody that's doing something great with their business. When you tell it from a first person point of view, that works. So I think when you are chatting to the voters in your world and you want to get something across, coming from a personal story, a personal narrative, that's one thing that we have learned to do well. Also, just we have, not only Glamour and the publishers of the world have the ability to talk about what they want to do and publish. You have Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and all of these places. I had a great chat this morning on Instagram Live with Senator Warren and about childcare in particular. And a lot of our audience got really engaged with that, because she called childcare, the need for childcare, basic infrastructure. And our audience were able to interact in real time. So what can you do digitally like this, the couch party? We're answering questions. How can you feel like you're part of the community interacting? There's the two things I would say, the personal and the interactivity of the storytelling.
That's so great. And I think so important to make sure that we're thinking about, I know you guys talked a little bit about misinformation, but we've got a lot of questions here about misinformation, about voting safely. Can you tell us a little bit about how When We All Vote, Valerie, is working to combat some of that, and how we're working with partners to make sure people know exactly where they need to go?
Sure. Well, so we have partners all across the country on the ground. We pride ourselves with working with a number of grassroots organizations that are out in the field trying to determine what's going on, have a pulse of it. In fact, just yesterday, I had a call with the leading civil rights organizations from around the country, sharing best practices, finding out where they're initiating lawsuits, where they're seeing hotspots, if you will, around the country. So we want to be, in a sense, a clearinghouse for all that information so that people don't have to search for it. We can tell you where it is that you want to go. And I know you should be concerned about what's going on out there, but I do want to say one thing. When you hear that voting by mail leads to vote fraud, there is simply no evidence of that. And so don't fall for that. People have been voting by mail in this country for generations. The military has been voting by mail since World War II. There are states that only have vote by mail, such as Washington State. And the vast majority of states have the ability to vote by mail. We think every state should have it where you don't have to have an excuse. If you just want to vote by mail, you should be able to vote by mail. So let's not fall for some of the rhetoric that's out there that's questioning the legitimacy of it. The thing that we have to question is whether the Postal Service can accommodate the large influx in ballots that we expect to see, which is why request it immediately, as soon as it's available in your state. And if you hear that there are lags in your state, and talk to people, well, how long does it take for you to get your mail? If you hear it's taking an exorbitant long period of time, then you should drop it off. And some states have drop boxes where you can just drop your ballot. You don't even have to go inside. But it's a safer way of doing it than going inside and standing in line. So educate yourself on the science and trust the experts.
It's so important, really making sure that people are requesting their ballots right away. So I know we only have a couple of minutes left, but Valerie and Samantha, if you guys could leave everybody on this couch party with one thing they can do to take action right now, what would that be?
Samantha, you go first.
Wow. I mean, I would use your vote. It's such a powerful thing. Women fought for it. Some women got it 100 years ago. It took women of color a longer time to get there and even be allowed to vote. Don't waste that. Use your vote and encourage everybody around you to use theirs.
Your voice is your vote. Your vote is your voice. And as Michelle Obama said when we launched this a couple of years ago, she said, if you don't vote, then that means somebody else is representing your interests. And you know who does tend to vote? Older people tend to vote in record numbers. And she said, would you let your grandmother pick out your wardrobe? Not very likely. So why would you let her make life and death decisions about your life and your livelihood? Every single person has got to vote. You've got to get engaged. And it does matter. It makes a difference. And the people who respect you, who you are able to influence, will follow your lead. And so if you abdicate, they will too. And part of why we wanted to do this is that we do believe that women make a really strong community. And let's use that community to be a force for good. Our country, our democracy will be stronger if your voices count. So only you can insist that they count.
Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you to Glamour for being our partner here. We are so grateful for both of your voices and for all of your contributions. And we are just so happy to have you with us. So thanks so much for being here tonight. All right. Before we move into our OutVote training with our good friends, Arisa and Morgan, I am so excited to have one more special guest here to welcome everybody. I'm sure so many of you know her from her work as an actress, from her well-known roles in Community, The Mayor, The Odd Couple, Drake and Josh, and Girlfriends, and many more shows that I have enjoyed, and many of you guys have as well. She appeared in films like Dreamgirls, Avengers, Endgame, Tropic Thunder, and Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters. She has an extensive voiceover career. She's a talented singer, and she is a 2020 NAACP Image Award nominated writer for Always a Bridesmaid, the romantic comedy she penned that is currently streaming on Netflix. One of our favorite partners here at When We All Vote. I'm so excited to welcome Yvette Nicole Brown. Yvette, thanks for joining us.
Jordan, what an introduction. Thank you for that, Pumpkin. Hey, everybody, and thanks for having me here tonight. As an ambassador of When We All Vote, it is an honor to be here in this room full of inspiring and powerful women coming together to take action. Now, here's a little bit about me and why I'm here. I have voted in every single election since I turned 18. Why? Because voting is the best way for change to happen. And it's not just about president, you guys. That's a very important election to be sure, but the big decisions that affect our daily lives, like Valerie just said, are decided by mayors and city councilmen and women and local judges. That's why voting in every single election is so important. And that's why we need to remind people to do it. And that's why we need you. Now, here's a few facts. For the last 5 midterm elections, women have turned out to vote in higher rates than men. And why? Because women not only understand the importance of voting, but we understand the impact voting has on all aspects of our lives and the lives of our friends and family and our community. I like that show, by the way. You should watch it. These strange and uncertain times that we are living in now show how important it is to make sure that we are all registered and equipped with the tools, knowledge, and resources we need to vote this November. And guess what? The greatest tool is, you guys. It's you. You sharing the issues that are important to you is your superpower in every single election. Is it the climate, the economy, foreign policy, healthcare? Talk about it, share it, spread it around like confetti. Actually, I say this all the time, spread it around like glitter, because glitter gets everywhere. So spread it like glitter. You being you and using your voice to share what matters to you and why voting is important is what makes tonight's training and couch party all the more urgent, necessary, and fun. So this night is essentially all about you guys. Women get things done. And when we take action, as we always do, we ensure a better and brighter future for ourselves and generations to come. Tonight, the When We All Vote and United States of Women teams will train you all on how to text voters and how to have those important conversations with your family and friends in order to make sure they're registered to vote. Remember, every vote counts. And we have to make sure that not only are we registered to vote, but like Sam said and what Valerie said, we have to make a plan to vote with our family and friends. If it's raining, if our feet hurt, if we want to drop it off, if we want to mail it in, we have to make that plan now. 75 days, as Sam said, 75 days. It's not a lot of time. This upcoming election will be one of the most important elections of our lifetime. So we need to be doing everything in our power to ensure our values are reflected in the leaders we elect. Remember, women lead. And when they lead, everything changes. So let's get to work, let's get trained, and let's get this couch party started. You guys ready? Huh?
I'm
All
ready.
right.
Thank
Yes.
you, Yvette.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a ball.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for everything. You guys heard Yvette. It's time to get trained and get started. So I'm so excited to turn it over to my dear friends and colleagues, Morgan Johnson and Arisa Samani, who are going to train you on OutVote and making sure that we are all texting women this evening. So I'm going to turn it over to Arisa. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening and welcome to our training portion of the When All Women Vote Couch Party. My name is Arisa Samani. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Deputy Director of Organizing and Training at When We All Vote. And with me, I have my colleague, my partner in facilitation tonight, Miss Morgan Johnson. Morgan, go ahead and say hey to everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm Morgan Johnson. I also use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Programs and Special Project Associate at the United States of Women. And like we heard from our incredible speakers tonight, we are here to honor the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which gave the power to vote to women, but also we want to acknowledge the fact that so many women, particularly women of color, remain excluded from the ballot box until many decades later. It is because of the tireless work of powerful Black, Indigenous, Asian American, and Latinx women organizers like Mary Church Terrell, Ida B. Wells, and modern organizers like Latasha Brown, Raquel Willis, Dolores Huerta, Alice Wong, and many more, that women of color are finally included in this conversation. We know that when all women vote, our democracy is stronger, more equitable, and better for all of us. And it is up to us to honor that legacy and carry it forward by making sure that more women make their voices heard in every election. So Arisa, tell us more about how we're going to make that happen tonight.
Thanks, Morgan. Tonight, we are on a mission to text 300,000 eligible voters and women across the country who need to hear from you. And we are all going to take time tonight to text at least 10 people in our networks, encouraging them to check their voter registration. Remember, everyone, checking our voter registration and doing it early and doing it often is one easy way we can all fight voter suppression. So let's make our voices count and let's get texting. If you haven't already done so, you will need to download our texting tool, OutVote, to help make that happen. This is the tool we'll be using for our texting campaign tonight. So let's download it together. We are going to show you a step-by-step video on how to download and use OutVote to text voters across the country. For those of you who have texted with us before, jump in that comment section and help out our new volunteers who are texting for the first time. Remember, we can do this together. So our team is right here on deck to help answer your questions. Let's go.
Hey y'all, this is Bobby, and I'm the organizing director with When We All Vote. Our team is focused on reaching as many eligible voters as possible and helping them register and get ready to vote.
And I'm Arisa, the Deputy Director of Organizing and Training at When We All Vote. We're here today to talk to you about how you can help us engage eligible voters from the comfort of your own home through texting.
Texting is one of the best ways to meet eligible voters where they are, on their phones. So let's get going. Today, we will introduce you to an amazing tool our team uses called OutVote. This tool will help you text voters across the country to make sure they're registered and ready to vote. This tool also includes a lot of great ways to organize the people that you know and the people in your community. Also, I should mention that everything we're about to show you can be found at whenweallvote.org/texting. So now, I'm going to turn it back to Arisa, who's going to walk us through how to use the app.
Great, let's do this. To get started, you'll need to download the OutVote app to your phone. OutVote is the When We All Vote organizing platform that easily helps you reach out to the people you know to help make sure they're registered to vote, and you can engage in texting campaigns to register voters across the country. The first step is to go to a web or mobile phone browser or your desktop and go to weall.vote/OutVote. Alternatively, you can also scan the QR code here on the screen by hovering your phone camera over the image and clicking on the browser notification. That directs you to a page to enter your phone number where you will receive a text message to download OutVote from your phone's app store.
You can also download OutVote directly from your phone's app store, but you'll need to get linked with the When We All Vote campaign page by inputting our 6-digit campaign code. That code is 456100. Again, the code is 456100. If you prefer to use your web browser to text, you'll need to go to outvote.io, press the login button at the very top of the screen, where it'll take you to a screen where you can log in as a volunteer or an administrator. Make sure that you select the volunteer selection, and then you'll be able to sign in either using an email address or using your Google account. When you create an account, make sure that you remember our campaign code. Again, that code being 456100. Back to you, Arisa.
Now you'll need to create an account. First, make sure you enter the campaign code, which is 456100. After that, you're going to click the blue Start button, and you'll be prompted to enter your zip code. After that, you'll enter your first name, your last name, and phone number. You'll have the option to sign up via Facebook or email. Take your pick for what's most comfortable for you. If this is your first time on OutVote, you'll need to choose an email or password and click the sign up button. All right, you're in. Once you're in, sync your phone's contacts. Syncing your contacts is the easiest way to begin taking action with When We All Vote. By syncing your contacts, you'll be able to send events, messages, and encourage your networks to check their voter registration. You'll do that by going to the far right icon, which looks like a person, and clicking the blue Sync My Contacts button. The second major action you can help with right now is to text eligible voters across the country to make sure they're registered and ready to vote. On the When We All Vote campaign page, scroll down to the Texting Action Campaigns. We've already gotten you started with a list of eligible Americans across the country who need to hear from you. To text them, click the icon in the blue button that says Start. You'll be directed to a draft text message we've already written out for you and the name of each recipient. Just hit send. As you can see, the text messages are sent via OutVote, meaning your phone number is protected. All you have to do is continue hitting the blue button that says send to send out these messages. The one thing that's important to remember is that this is a conversation between you and an eligible voter. So please make sure you're keeping in touch with the folks you're texting. To continue the conversation, open your inbox on OutVote by clicking the text icon. There you will see all replies to your initial text. Click on the follow-up button to see the follow-up script options and send them directly within the OutVote app. After you've completed your conversation with a voter, you should also click the button that says Fill Report. For example, if a voter tells you they're already registered, let us know via the report. If someone uses profane language or will not be 18 by election day or asked to be taken off the list, use Fill Report to click Opt Out. Lastly, if someone says wrong number, use Fill Report to mark that in the OutVote app.
And that is how you use OutVote. Make sure you keep coming back to the When We All Vote campaign page in the OutVote app to check in for more actions. A few quick tips to go over before you get texting. 1, always be polite. As a volunteer, you represent When We All Vote and our organization. 2, only send texts to potential voters from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., the local time of the person you're texting. 3, when a voter responds to you in OutVote, the most effective and best practice is to follow up with them within the hour. So make sure you're setting aside time not just to text, but to have the conversation as well. If people ask not to be messaged, just go ahead and immediately mark them as do not call. And lastly, report back. You can fill out a report on OutVote by going to the Fill Report button in your OutVote inbox. If you have any questions at all, you can head to whenweallvote.org/texting or email us at volunteers@whenweallvote.org. We're so excited to have you on the team with us. Happy texting, y'all.
All right, everyone, we have gotten you started with these texting campaigns on OutVote. Remember, we have these draft text messages already written out for you. We have 300,000 folks who need to hear from you. All you need to do is hit that blue start button in OutVote to begin. And remember, these text messages are sent via OutVote. So this text is not coming from your phone. All of your phone numbers are private and protected. One thing that's really important to remember is that having the conversation with a voter is just as important as sending that initial text. So if a voter responds to you, head to your OutVote inbox to respond back using one of the follow-up scripts we have already provided. You can access your inbox on OutVote by clicking the text icon, which is the second icon on your dashboard. all you have to do is click on a message you receive from a voter and go to the button that says follow up, where you'll select a response that most closely matches what you need to say. For example, if someone is already registered, you'll click the already registered follow-up. If someone says they don't wish to be texted, opt them out immediately by marking them as do not call. If someone says wrong number, you can select the wrong number field. Please note that this is different than opting them out as do not call. And you can also mark voters who have already registered to vote or voters who are ineligible to vote. Maybe they're not 18 by election day. And we have just a few tips for you as we get ready to text and dance the night away. One, always be polite. Remember that as a volunteer, you represent our organizations. For some folks, this may be the only interaction they have with us, so we want it to be positive. 2, only send texts between 6 and 9 p.m. Eastern. No voter wants you to slide into their DMs at midnight, so let's be respectful of time here. 3rd, remember that this is a conversation. So when a voter responds to you in OutVote, set aside time every 5 minutes to have these conversations with eligible voters. Make sure that you are following up within the hour. And lastly, report back. Remember to fill out a report in OutVote when prompted after you receive a response. Remember, if you text somebody who asks not to be messaged, opt them out right away by marking them as do not call. Morgan, do you have any last tips for our volunteers?
Yes, just a few more reminders. When We All Vote and the United States of Women are nonpartisan, so we do not advocate for any political party, candidate, or issue. Most people will be nice, but sometimes people can be mean or vulgar through text, so don't worry about responding to them. Just use the fill report option, and when prompted, opt them out with do not call. Second, you don't have to know everything. If a voter asks you a specific question that you don't have the answer to, use the follow-up to direct them to our Voter Resources Hub at weall.vote/hub, or tell them to call 866-OUR-VOTE. If it's a state-specific question, we've included a response script that you can use in your inbox with these resources. And make sure you're using messages we've already written out for you for both initial text message and the follow-ups. They have all the information that voters need. Sometimes the first responses or loudest responses that you will get from voters are the most negative. Remember that even if you receive negative responses, your work is making a huge difference. You don't have to respond to anything that is vulgar or mean. Just simply mark those people as do not call. Back to you, Arisa.
Thanks, Morgan. And remember, y'all, we are here for you. Like Morgan said, if you receive any voting questions that you don't know the answer to, direct voters to call 866-OUR-VOTE and to access our Voter Resources Hub at weall.vote/hub. If you receive any questions or have any issues downloading OutVote, or if you don't know what you're doing, head to whenweallvote.org/texting, where we have step-by-step guides laid out for you, and we have that training video that our team recorded. You can also email us at volunteers@whenweallvote.org for one-on-one help, or comment in our Slack group and Facebook group with any questions that you have, and our team is on deck. And to stay connected with the United States of Women's incredible voting work, head to theunitedstateofwomen.org/vote. Another resource for you all is our phone number at When We All Vote. You can text SQUAD to 310-622-8683 to receive messages and important updates from our When We All Vote team. Remember, everyone, we are asking you to do 4 things tonight. 1, help us text 300,000 eligible voters and women across the country to get them registered and ready to vote. 2, respond to voters who text you back. Remember that this is a conversation. 3, we are asking you tonight to join us in the fight against voter suppression. And one of the simplest and easiest things you can do is to text at least 10 people tonight, encouraging them to check their voter registration. We have a fantastic resource to help you map out who needs to hear from you about voting at weall.vote/mynetwork. Map out your 10 folks, reach out to them, and post on social media using the hashtag #CouchParty to make sure that your whole social network is getting registered and ready to vote this fall. Remember, you are the most powerful person to help register your friends and your family to vote. With your help, we will move towards a country where all women vote. And lastly, stay right here to join our dance party with DJ Diamond Cuts. She will be playing a live set while we text the night away, so don't go anywhere.
And with that, it is time to party, y'all. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for being a part of this movement. And thank you for working to make our democracy stronger. With your help, we are going to text 300,000 voters tonight. I'm going to hand it off to radio host Angie Martinez, who's going to kick off our party.
Hey everyone, it is Angie Martinez. Hope everybody is feeling well. I am so excited to be here and to be joining the United States of Women and When We All Vote for When All Women Vote Week of Action. You've had an incredible week and an evening packed full of information and of course empowering messages, and now it is time to put it all to work. So we're going to do just that, and it's up to us, all of us, from now until November to organize and to make sure that our communities are ready to vote. And if we all pitch in, we can move towards a country where all women vote, and that is the goal. So let's get started right now. Tonight, we need your help to text 300,000 voters. We can do that together. So let's get to texting, let's get dancing, and for that, I want to introduce the amazing woman who is handling the soundtrack to our fight this evening, the one, the only DJ Diamond Cuts.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready, so got you. Girl, I must say, I sense something strange in my mind.
Thank you, DJ Diamond Cuts. It's Tina Chen. I am co-chair of United States of Women. I'm on the board of When We All Vote, and I'm the president and CEO of Time's Up, sitting on my front porch couch here, joining the couch party. And thank you all for being with us. This is so important. This week we celebrated the centennial of the 19th Amendment going into the U.S. Constitution that enshrined the right for women to get the vote. But we also know it took another half century for women of color to fully realize that right to vote. And that's just a sign of how hard we always have to work to protect the vote. What sacrifices the women who came before us made and what we now need to do. I take that as inspiration for me, for doubling down, for making sure that we are working our way towards a world where all women vote all the time. Because you know what happens when women vote? The issues that are important to us and our families that are on the ballot win. Things like childcare and paid leave and equal pay and fair pay and promotion and protecting all workers, including women workers, from sexual harassment on the job. All of those things are on the ballot this fall. And when women vote, those issues win. And so it's so critically important that we make sure that everyone knows how to get registered, how to vote, that they have a voting plan when right now there's so much confusion about how do I vote? Well, we've got, only 75 days left to get this done before Election Day. So tonight is so critical. I'm so glad you've all joined this late summer evening, that you're going to join us in texting 300,000 voters tonight to make sure that they have a plan, that they know what they're doing. They know the importance of voting this year, and they figure out what to do. And they know they've got a resource in When We All Vote to find out the information they need to. Now here, look, it's important. It's important to have a plan. And you've heard it all evening long that you need to have a plan. Make a plan for how you're going to vote, how your family's going to vote, how your neighbors are going to vote, your school friends, your workmates, anybody in your personal network. Make sure they've got a plan for how to vote, and make sure they actually have a backup plan too. So if you planned to early vote, but something's happening with the post office, think about how do you switch and decide how to find out how to early vote, or figure out how to find out how you can get some time off from your job on November 3rd to vote. Just plan ahead. Know your deadlines for registration and for applying for absentee ballots and vote by mail ballots are coming up. So know that right now's the time to figure it out. And tonight's the night that we're going to text 300,000 voters to let them know this is their time to make their plan and their backup plan for how they're going to vote, because they could not be more important. And why should you do it? You're saying okay, so, I'm not the Duchess of Sussex. I'm not Valerie Jarrett. What's my network? We all have networks. We've got our neighbors. We've got our family. We have people we went to school. Reach out and find those long lost classmates that you haven't talked to in years and find out what they're doing about voting. This is a good time to check in with people during this pandemic and see how they're doing, and then ask them what they're doing about voting. And if they don't know, help them. Send them to When We All Vote so that they know how to make a plan and they get the information that they need. Because here's what we also know. People actually listen most to the people that they know. They don't take advice from people on TV or people on Twitter. They take advice from you, from people who they know and they trust as trusted messengers. And so this is your opportunity to really contribute to our democracy, to making our democracy strong, because elections, that's the bedrock. It's the bedrock of our democracy. It's why those suffragettes fought so hard 100 years ago to get the right to vote. Why the civil rights activists, people like Dorothy Height, battled so hard to get fully realized rights to vote for Black women and Indigenous people and all women of color. And it's why we today need to work to make sure that all women vote. So thanks for being here with us tonight. Thank you to everybody at United States of Women and When We All Vote. And especially thanks to DJ Diamond Cuts. Let's get back to the party.
shaky, but ass is making me wanna get out on the dance floor and get freaky. I take control of a body like a hypnotist. I'm back in John Peace with the biggest stars in hip. Bring it on like a 10 in California. I'll keep your body hot, girlfriend. Let me warn ya. Yeah, right. This one thing
DJ Diamond Cuts is incredible. We are so excited to be here with you guys tonight. We just wanted to give you an update. We are already up to 70,000 voters texted. That is huge. In only less than 20 minutes we've been started. So it's so exciting. We are already up to 70,000 voters. And I will say, we also have thousands of people texting. Thousands of texts gone out peer-to-peer. You're texting your friends, which is so effective and helpful and awesome. We are so excited to have you joining us tonight. So let's keep going. Let's hit 1,000 next. Keep going, just going really fast, texting on your phone. So easy. And enjoy DJ Diamond Cuts and keep texting. Thanks so much, everybody.
There's been so many things that's held us down, but now it looks like things are finally coming around. I know we've got a long way to go, and where we'll end up, I don't know. But we won't let nothing hold us back. We're putting our show together, we're polishing up our act. If you've never been held down before, I know you refuse to be held down anymore. I went into a store to buy a slice of pizza. I bumped into a girl named Mona Lisa, so many. You know what I'm saying? So I said, excuse me there. My gosh, you look nice. Put away your money. I'll buy a slice. She said, thanks, I'd rather a slice of you. I'm just kidding, but that's awfully nice of you. The compliment showed she had a mind in her. And when I smiled, I almost blinded her. She said, great Scott, are you a thief? Seems like you have a mouthful of gold teeth. Ha ha ha, I had to find that funny, so I said, no child, I work hard for the money. And calling me a thief, please, don't even try it. Said I need to slice of pizza and be quiet. She almost got cut short. You know, scissors, she tried to disrespect me. What's your name, sir? MC Ricky D, but not to be so harsh, I said to Mona Lee. Oh, I'm sorry, and I know that's low class. Please sit, tell me a little about your past. She said, well, I got courage and I don't like porridge. I've never been to college, but I've got crazy knowledge. Over 18 and my eyes are green. I wear more gold than that man on 18. Trim, slim, and I'm also light skinned. Best believe Mona's a virgin. A virgin? Honey needed a slap. She tried to tell me she's a virgin with a yay white gap. I said, it don't matter, see, I'm not picky. Let me spell my name out for you, it's Ricky. Ravishing, C, courageous or careless. Yeah. Make those which I got that I wear every day.
Trendsetter. Born leaders. weallvote.org.
DJ Diamond Cuts. I won't ever slack up. Don't give it a back up. Try and play the role and you're the whole crew will act up. Get up, stand up, come up, throw your hands up if you got the feeling. Jump up, touch the ceiling. Once let's a pump up. Someone's fucking jump, yeah, I'll bust them in the eye. And then I'll take the punks out. Feeling funkin', amps in the trunk, and I got more rhymes in this cops that I don't keep going. Shut up, I got props from the kicks in the head. With my mom and my pops. I can't make it down. I can't make it down. So get out your seat and jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump around.
Let's go.
Jump up and get down. Jump, 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 jump. DJ Diamond Cuts.
Inside out is wiggin' whack. Come stupid with something pumping, they keep you jumping. R&B, rapping, bull crap is what I'm dumping. Ain't nothing suck about crush, we all like. So when they ask, do they rock, say we need it. Trendsetter, born leaders.
Think gators, my Detroit players. Tim's for my hooligans in Brooklyn. Dead right, if the head right, Biggie there, air night. Papa been school since days of under rules. Never lose, never choose to. Bruce Cruz who do something to us. Talk go through us. Girls want to us, wanna do us, screw us, who us? Yeah, Papa and Puff. Close like Starsky and Hutch, stick to clutch. Yeah, I squeeze 3 at your cherry M3, bang every MC easily. Recently, frontin' ain't saying nothing, so I just speak my peace, keep my peace. Cubans with the Jesus peace, with my peace. Asking who want it, you got it, flaunt it. That Brooklyn bullfish, we on it.
Biggie, can't you see? Sometimes you love just hypnotize me. And I just love your fashion ways. The trendsetter, born leaders.
DJ Diamond Cuts.
Shot callers, brawlers, who be dipping in the bins with the spoilers.
Throw a hex on the whole family. Dressed in all black like the omen. Have your friends singing, this is for my homies. And you know me for making it so sick. Lost in my six with the Lex on the wrist. If it's murder, you know she wrote it. German Ruger for your deep throated. Know you wanna feel the room cause it's platinum coated. Take your pick, got a firearm, you should've told it. All that the trick say I hate from the side. Why you riding mine? I'm a good fella kind of lady. Sassy ladies in the States. Puffy, hold me down, baby. Only female in my crew, and I kick you. Let's keep it going.
DJ Diamond Cut. Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me go all out. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me act a fool. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me lose my cool. Up in here, up in here. I got to bring it to you, cowards, and it's gonna be quick. Oh, you made up in the jail before? Suck my dog and all the motherfuckers you run with. Get done with, done quick. You gon' broke the dog with some bumps. They go to click, click. 911. All over some tumble. Ain't that summer? You remind me of a stripper. Every time you come around, it's like, I just gotta get my nuts up. And I don't know who the f you think you talking to, but I'm not him, right? Slim, so watch what you do. Or you gon' find yourself very next to someone else. And we all thought you loved yourself, but that couldn't have been the issue. Or maybe they just saying that now cause they miss you. Maybe they have an issue. That's why you laying on your back, looking at the roof of the church. Preacher telling the truth and it hurts. Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me go all out. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me act a fool. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me lose my cool. Up in here.
The trendsetter. We born leaders. Come on.
DJ Diamond Cuts.
When we all go down on the scene, go twins.
DJ Diamond Cuts.
Let's go. The trendsetter. We born leaders. The trendsetter. We born leaders.
DJ Diamond Cuts.
Let's get the guys going. Come on, come on.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Go. The trendsetter. We born leaders. Now I know a lot of us are crazy. So we gonna take it to the islands real quick.
Where the ladies at?
DJ Diamond Cuts.
Where the ladies
Let's go.
Where the ladies at? Where the ladies at? Where the ladies at? Check it out.
Ladies gotta
Where the
fuck
ladies at? Where the ladies at? Where the ladies at?
Take you
Check
on
it
the
out.
islands right now.
Where the
Let's take you
ladies
there.
at?
Let's
Where
go.
the ladies at? Where the ladies at?
You know, let them threaten and grill you with no lecture. But them poor drill, now them fuel injector. And them a infector, disease collector. Now for them a go like them walk come wreck ya. Don't know the part where you got in your center. But you know you not let them guy they affect you. Yo, girl, just give me the light and pass the joke. What's another buckle of more? Girl, let me in my sights and I got to know which one is gonna catch my flow. Come in at the bars and I got my dough. What's another buckle of more? Girl, I'm looking up and I got to know.
Her beauty's like a bunch of roses. If I ever tell you about Maxine, you older say I don't know what I know, but murder she wrote. Murder she wrote. Murder she wrote.
right, everyone, we have just hit 100,000 voters that you all have texted with us tonight. You have helped 100,000 people get access to the information that they need to make their voices heard at the ballot box this election season. Keep going. Let's hit that goal of 300,000. Let's keep texting. Let's keep dancing. You are the best organizers I know. You are the change that we want to see in our communities. And with your help, we will change our communities. We will transform this country, and we will text 300,000 voters tonight. Let's do it.
Say you grab it. Girl, she a beg you wanna ball, just stop it. Batman plug in and me a move like a electric. It's like a basketball, she take time out the body. You listen to me silent, you listen to me lyrics. I feel him and they and me a drop it. I said, Sim Simma, who got the keys to my bima? Who am I? The girls them sugar. How can I make love to a fella in the rock? Dig it, trendsetter. Let's go. Oh my God, now see what guys do. Yeah, my girl. Watch the time.
Stop playing with my mind.
Oh, I know in a joke when she will want the wine.
You call me on the phone.
I know what a talking angel come down.
And now I want you home.
I tell Jackie Gavin and you no slow.
Action. Sweet.
Don't be ready, girl, them no go.
Action. Sweet.
Don't be ready, girl, them no go.
I need some action. Tender satisfaction. My chemistry is going. Can you go to
DJ Gavin Cuts.
coming live from the VIP. Heard the nightlife, lost life without me. Most feds in the state wanna see by me. The whole city got pissed, heard he got 3. That other rapper got a hit, but shouted he not out. Who set the city on fire soon as he got free? They came back now. Brawls don't even know how to act now. Hit the club, strippers getting naked before I sat down. Still ballin', money stacked tall in the shack now. Still push a button and let the roof on the lack down. I'm on the road doing shows, put my Mac down. Mississippi to Philly, Albuquerque to chat time. I got the crowd yelling. Bring 'em out, hey, all my hot girls yelling. Bring 'em out, hey, all the dope boys yelling. Bring 'em out, hey, bring the back day yelling.
What the f*** though? Where the love go? 5, 4, 3, 2, I let one go. What the f*** though? I don't bluff, bro. Aiming at your head like a buffalo. You a roughneck, I'm a cutthroat. You a tough guy. That's enough jokes. Then the sun died. The night is young though. The diamond still shine. In a rough hole. What the f*** though? Where the love go? 5, 4, 3, 2, where the ones go? This is show. Put you front row. Talking bro. Let your tongue show. Money over and above. That is still my favorite love quote. Put the gun aside. What the fuck? I sleep with the gun. And she don't snow. What the yo? Where the love go? Trade the ski mask. Put a muzzle. It's a bloodbath. Where the sun go? It's a Swiss beach. Don't go.
This for my special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrist on glittery. Get kicked, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the lean in the chivalry. Rap Buddha, you gas Buddha. Right jab like Zab Sugar. Every member on my team is a shit. Tight like a wound, no room for intruders. Spark Buddha, twist in the Philly. And good humor, don't be silly. It's gravy, baby. I got it all smothered. Like makeup, I got it all covered. You want a jewel? Don't be cool. It's authentic. Don't be fooled by these phony accusations, backlash and slanders, front and they publicity stunts and propaganda. Keep it private, cause I'm the commander. In chief, I never stop like bait. Give me a break, I might shake the building. Place safe, vacate all women and children. I spit it out. Special delivery. I want that. Special delivery. Special delivery. Special delivery. Special delivery.
Where you at? DJ Diamond Cut. Where you at? Give me the Where you at? 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 All the independent women. Where you at? Where you at? All the trendsetter. Where you at? We born leaders. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Tear the club up. Tear the club up. All my to the front. Tear the club up. Tear the club up. Tear the club up. All my to the back. Tear the club up. Get your hands up. Get your hands up. All my with the rock. Get your hands up. Get your hands up. Get your trendsetter. We born leaders.
Out the window, come in the house and cut the phone call. Break my knees so I can move. 'Cause you above the roof. I wanna put your number. Let's see, did early 2000s. Make my email stop. 'Cause you above the roof. You bugging, what you bugging, who you bugging, me, and don't you see it ain't cool.
Hold on. Listen, make sure you go to weallvote.org. Make sure you're registered to vote. Let's go. Trendsetter. We born leaders.
Come in the house to cut the phone call. Break my knees so I can move. 'Cause you above the roof. I wanna put your number on the call block. MAOL, make my email stop. 'Cause you above the roof. You bugging, what you bugging, who you bugging, me, and don't you see it ain't cool.
It's
not hot that you be calling me, stressing me, paging my beat, but you're just non-stop. And it's not hot that you be leaving me messages every 10 minutes and then you stop by. When I first met you, you were cool, but it was game, you had me fooled. 'Cause 20 minutes after I gave you my number, you already had my mailbox full. So what? You bought a pair of shoes, but now I guess I owe you. You don't have to call as much as you do. I'll give them back to you, with you. And so what? My mama liked you, but now I guess you think I will too. Even if the bullshit is I don't really get a little bugaboo. You make me wanna throw my paper out the window. Tell me if I to cut the phone calls. Break my lease so I can move. You a bugaboo. I wanna put your number on the call block. MAOL, make my email stop. 'Cause you a bugaboo. You bugging, what you bugging, who you bugging, me, and don't you see it ain't cool.
It's trendsetter. Let's give it to leaders.
DJ Diamond Cut.
Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive and when yet. It's your primitive and when yet. If you got a big, let me search it to find out how hard I gotta work. Yeah, it's your primitive and when yet. It's your primitive and when yet.
Yeah, and this is shit too much for me. Took me to the crib, man. She
told me. Now my baby mama told us had not to beat me. Rose had wanna fight, missing out the treat. Sitting on cash, got money out there. Giving them back shots and got money out there. Now you can see me in the booth like, whoa. Next time I hit that G5 truck, I got the magic stick. I can go for hours. From the bed to the floor, to the sink, to the shower. With it back to the bed and the legs to the sky. I can go hard, know why? Big girls don't cry. I have visions of Missy with the money by the tub. Jackpot, I think I'm in love. I'm looking for Missy now so I can get my back, bro. Cause this be hollered in my ear before we left the club.
I like to get to know ya so I can show ya. Put a hurting on ya like I told ya. Give me all your numbers so I can phone ya. Your girl act the same thing, call me over. Knock on the bed, lay me on your sofa. Call before you come, I need to shave my cha-cha. You do or you don't, or you will, I won't cha. Go downtown and eat it like a vulture. See my hips, big hips, so cha. See my butt, then my lips don't cha. Lost a few pounds in my waist, oh yeah. It's the kind of beat that go ba-ta-ta. Ba-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Sex me so good I say blah, blah, blah. Work it, I need a glass of water. Boy, oh boy, it's good to know ya. Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive and flat yet. It's your primitive and flat yet. If you got a big one, let me search it. And find out how I gotta work it. It's your primitive and flat yet.
DJ Diamond Cuts.
Those are all good and positive vibes. Make sure you register to vote. Let's go. The trendsetter. He's born leading.
I've been searching for someone to satisfy my every need.
sent you hallelujah.
The trendsetter.
Sent you hallelujah.
We born leaders.
Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
DJ Diamond Coach.
Saturday night we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Don't believe me, just watch.
Trendsetter. We born leaders.
DJ Diamond Coach.
A celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on now. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a
This is a story of famous dog. The dog that chases its tail will be busy. These are clapping dogs, rhythmic dogs, harmonic dogs, house dogs, street dogs, dogs of the world unite, dancing dogs. Yeah, counting dogs, funky dogs, nasty dogs.
To the table, working hard, girl, everything paid for. First, last phone bill, car, no cable. With your phone out, gotta hit them angles. With your phone out, snapping like you Fable. And you showing off, but it's alright. And you showing off, but it's alright. It's a short life, piping up on these. You gotta be nice for what to these? I understand. You got 100 bands, you got a baby band, you got some bad friends. High school kids, you see you bad damn. You ain't stressing on no lover in the past tense. You already had them. Work at 8 a.m., finish round 5. All done, you don't see them outside. Yeah, they don't really be the same offline. You know dog days, you know hard times. Doing overtime for the last month. Saturday, call the girls, get them gassed up. Gotta hit the club, gotta make that jump. Gotta hit the club like you hit them angles. With your phone out, snapping like you Fable. And you showing off, but it's alright. And you showing off, but it's alright. The trendsetter.
DJ Diamond Cuts. Let's really get into it. Y'all know me, y'all know what I'm about to do. DJ Diamond Cuts. Let's go.
Wow. Where is the, I want the, I need the, show me the, throw me the, this for the, you know the love booties matter. Where is the, I want the, I need the, show me the, throw me the, this for the, you know the love booties matter. Hey. Love booties coming back in style, love booties gon' drop it to the tile, love booties make me smile. I got 10 love booties in the pile, I'm about to make the love booties smile. Pick it up, break it down, the love booties about to win the crown. The love booty never make me frown, the love booty about to fuck it up right now. And she gon' throw it back up right now, watch that follow. Where is the, I want the, I need the, show me the, throw me the, this for the, you know the love booties matter. Where is the, I want the, I need the, show me the, throw me the, this for the, you know the love booties matter.
So much to call up in the ocean road, like an 18-wheeler. But this killer leaking, she's soaking wet, she leaking, soaking wet. Shake it like a salt, shake it like a salt, shake it like a salt, shake it like a salt. You're percolate, food on, do it, no time to wait, make it work. Put your wet t-shirt, you gotta shake it till your calf muscle hurt. Say the heels on the feet, strap around your ankle. Call that Bojangle, push it like fruit or a douche like goop. Look at get loose on the goose, go ride off, get your table dance. If you got 10, then bring a friend. Shake it, put the song in. If you ain't need well grown then. We ain't no boys, we grown then. You ain't gon' dance, well don't then. Why you wanna wait for this song then? You know how you feel.
Yeah, but let's show 'em what's above the now. Bling.
aka Bill Drummond. Who gon' get it crunk like me, Timberlane? Or my Scoop, aka Fat Man. We guaranteed to make the party people bounce. Fellas say, oh, girls say, ah. Looking at the corn rolls up in the club. Girl, don't be bashful, girl, back it up. Throw it, girl, like it's potent, man. Shake that, as fast as you can. White girl, shake it like you running from a suntan. My dog, grip it, grab it like it was a soda can. What you talking about holding back? Let it get on the dance floor, drop it like it was a Cadillac. What you talking about cutting the slack? Girl, you better bend that back. Where my girls roll deep in the club. Can't wait to hit the bar and get effed up. For my dogs who got more than 100 bucks. Can't wait to freak one of those big old bugs. Before we start to turn it out, you must learn to cross out. Before we start to turn it out, you must first begin to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. DJ Valley Cuts. Now drop, now drop, now drop, now drop. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now drop, now drop, now drop, now drop, now drop.
Let's go. Trendsetter.
Hey y'all, it's Morgan again, and I'm so excited to be back here to give you a special update. We are halfway there, y'all. We've reached 150,000 eligible voters through texting, and we've only been doing it for an hour. Can you believe it? If you all keep texting, keep sending those messages, keep filling out the report, we are going to reach our goal tonight. Our goal is to reach 300,000 voters. And like I said, it's only been 60 minutes and we have reached 150. We are halfway there. So just keep going, keep dancing. I know I'm rocking out to DJ Diamond Cuts. I know I'm texting, so I want y'all to keep going too.
To see
ready?
think they like me. I think they like me. Oh, I think they like me. Oh, I think they like me when they heard me on that other way. So it's only right that I hit you with another way. Oh, I think they like me when they heard me on that other way. So it's only right that I hit you with another way.
Yeah, they like me. Haters wanna fight me. Yeah, they mad cause I came up overnight, B. Yeah, I switched it up, I got a 9 cuff tight. So you better do the right thing like Spike. Yeah, I'm super clean, rock jeans with a white tee. Songs, but I know I need to bite me. If you have 6 figures, you'll be just like me. Yeah, you get mad cause I'm shining like the light, B. Talking about yup, in they old bag. He ain't real, you know that. Muhammad where they sold that. He stepping on you like a motherfucker.
The trendsetter.
Soldier Boy, I got this new dance for y'all called the Soldier Boy. You gotta punch then crank back 3 times from left to right. Soldier Boy, I'm in it. Why me crank it? Why me roll? Why me crank that Soldier Boy? That Superman. Now why me you? Crank that Soldier. 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 Now what? Soldier Boy, I'm in it. Why me crank it? Why me roll? Why me crank that Soldier Boy? That Superman. Now why me you? Crank that Soldier. Now why me you? Now why me you? Crank that song. Now why me you? Crank that song. Now what? Soldier Boy, Benny, why me lean that? Why me rock? Superman that, yeah, why me crank that Robocar? Super friend, now why me jocking on them, hate them, man. When I do that, Soldier Boy, I lean to the left, then crank that thing now. I'm jocking on you, and if we get the fight, then I'm counting on you. You catch me at your local party, yes, I crank it every day. Haters getting mad, cause I got me some baby Nate. Soldier Boy, I'm in it, why me crank it, why me roll? Why me crank that Soldier Boy, that Superman, that now why me you? Crank that Soldier, 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 now what? Soldier Boy, I'm in it, why me crank it, why me roll? Why me crank that Soldier Boy, that Superman, that now why me you? Crank that Soldier, now why me you? Crank that Soldier, now why me you? Crank that Soldier, now why me you?
Shake that love it, shake that love it, shake that love it, girl, shake that love it,
Oh man, we're having so much fun. Born leaders.
I wanna oh, cause you so thick. Come and tolerance, oh, DJ Diamond Cut. Oh my God, this ain't a dance floor, this a candy store, and I'm really geeked up, and I got more troll. I pop, I roll, it's soft, I know it's the summertime, but your left is happy, got me full, get loose, get low, don't be shy, I'm playboy, I know you want me ride, and it's so,
The trendsetter. Born leader. Put the bike emojis up right now.
DJ Diamond Cut. We gotta get y'all in here.
Damn near every day. That's the million question like job where you stay. Tell a college ball where the chop call. Eat 20 grand, spend $1 grand at the bar. This is about his own. I'm on the control, so get like me. 69 cutlass with the bucket seats. Beat in my trunk, bought it just for the freaks. Catch me in the hood, posted at the store. Sitting in my lap on the phone, counting dough. If a girl choose, let her do a thing. Just like a mama, nice brain. Everybody love me, I'm so fly. Go to deuces every time I ride by. I know you wonder why I'm so cool. Don't ask me, just do what you do. Meet me at the trail. It's going down. Meet me in the mall. It's going down. Meet me in the club. It's going down. Anywhere you need it, guaranteed to go down. Meet me in the trail. It's going down. Meet me in the mall. It's going down. Meet me in the club. It's going down. Anywhere you need it, guaranteed. You know I'm poppin'. DJ Diamond Coach. Man, I got this swag. My head not to my back. You know I'm poppin' tag. Man, I got this swag. Jumping, bumping, every cork off in this damn thing. Throwing the balls up at these so discriminate, bleeding from their nose. But when we start, that's where we make them hit the flow. Ain't no game off in this thing. We be deep off in your party. Come on, get it started. And we be the hardest. So if a come and run they mouth just like a punch them dead up in this nose. They stop this got to the flow.
Yeah, we knocking and bucking and ready to fight. I bet ya I'ma throw them things on haters specific twice. See me, I ain't nothing nice. Ain't caught up, it ain't no stopping. Thank you like Fred up. And that's how I've been lying. Like they said, it got popping and I am acting a fool. I wish I had a wicked crunk up on this crime I threw. Now enough is enough. Why I run and get stuck? Why I know it's a bust. Why I know. All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. Put them hands up. And they stay there. And they say yeah. And they say there. Cause all I do is win. And if you go in, put your hands in the air.
Ludacris going in on the verse, 'cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. What they saying, notice the pack. Blame it on that high school. We call it Ludiac. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down, like strippers' booties go. My verses still be serving, like a million virgins. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version.
Hips tick tock, in time she might start on the fans. Big E and that B stand for bands. If you wanna see some real, baby, here's your chance. I say left cheek, right cheek, drop it low and swing. Texas up in this thing, put you up on this game. I be parking my frame, gang, 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 gang. If you don't jump to put jeans on, baby, you don't feel my pain. Please don't give me hype, write my name in ice. Can't argue with these lazy basics, I just raise my price. I'm a boss, I'm a leader, I pull up in my two-seater, and my mama was a savage. Got this here from Tina, I'm a savage, yeah.
Classy, bougie, ratchet, sassy, moody, nasty, acting stupid. What's happening? What's happening? I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, acting stupid. Trendsetter, you're leading.
DJ Diamond Coach.
Let's keep it going. Let's go.
DJ Diamond Coach. I'm so busy, body giving me life. Hey, life, hey. Why you do me like Joanna? Joanna. Why you do me like Joanna? Joanna.
The trendsetter.
Joanna. Joanna. Hey, Joanna.
I'm in love with you. Money fall on you. Banana fall on you. Paparazzi follow you. Cause I'm in love with you. Are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking? Yeah. Are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking? Yeah. Are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking? Yeah. Are you done talking? Tell me, baby, are you done talking? Yeah. I don't wanna be a player no more. Yeah. I don't wanna be a player no more. Cause my guys call me Cristiano, Mr. Ronaldo, I'm on Nintendo.
We vibing out for sure.
Cause my guys call me Cristiano, Mr. Ronaldo, I'm on Nintendo. Money fall on you, banana fall on you, brother fall on you. Cause I'm in love with you. Money fall on you, banana fall on you, paparazzi follow you.
The trendsetter. We born leaders.
Slow touch, brown and white. DJ Diamond Cut. They can go back, eye for eye. They can lose trust. Right wrong. Easy go. Where you they go, go. You they go up. Catch my vibe.
The trendsetter. We born leaders.
DJ Diamond Cut.
She wanna give boy got peas when she hopping in the pod. Man, a real life sugar gal, I might forget what. When she want dark, told her meet me at the top. Switching lanes the other day, I seen her waiting for a bus. Maybe this a Moncler sweater, diesel denim. Buying over with my pockets fat like heather. Neck froze like I don't know no better. Benzo truck, white seats and they leather. Go broke never, on my grind. She make it clap like I'm Busta Rhymes. Juice the sauce and all them things. I glammed her twice a night with all my bling. Benz I drive, I brought that thing. Any girl you want, they were my team.
Don't rush, slow touch, brown and white. I can go country, grab and buy. I can go bust, eye for eye. I can lose trust. Right wrong,
born leaders.
where you they go, go, you they go up. Catch my vibe. DJ Diamond Cut.
She said she really broad boy like me. Believing nothing but the almighty. That's a little jeans and a pure whitey. She never do forever be nobody wifey. She wanna be a pretty but your heart is a me. Now you like a villain cause she got in a way. Tonight I am
Hey, everybody. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. We are already at 250,000 texts. That is incredible. You guys are doing amazing work right now, but we're not done. We got to smash through that 300,000 text mark. So we're going to end this live stream right now, but we really want you to keep texting. Keep texting through 9 o'clock. Make sure that you are listening to DJ Diamond Cuts as you do on her Instagram. It's DJ Diamond Cuts with a K. Make sure to keep listening, keep texting till 9 p.m. Keep answering those inbox messages. And if you have any questions while you're texting, you can go to weall.vote/Facebook or weall.vote/Slack. We are so grateful to all of you for all of the hard work you've been doing. Thank you so much for being here for our When All Women Vote couch party. I've had so much fun. I hope you have too. Thank you to all of our amazing special guests. We're going to smash through that $300,000 text goal. Keep texting till 9 p.m. Keep listening to DJ Diamond Cuts. And thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. Have an awesome night.
girl. Your skin just like pearls. Your back against the world. I never trust you for anybody else. Skin girl. Your skin just like pearls. The best thing about the world.
DJ Diamond Cut. Let's get it. Hold up. Bring the beat. Come on. Say what? Say what? The trendsetter. We born leaders. Wait, let me fix my hair.